The Double Special Heroes banner for August is out now, and it's another tempting banner to steal your orbs during this already summoning heavy month. These banners features reruns of mostly recent seasonal units, and it's gonna probably be the only time to get these units again until their designated rerun in the next year. Similar to the monthly legendary or mythic banners, the Double Special Heroes banners have 8 available focus units, and you have a starting 6% focus rate with no pity breakers. That means if you do get a 5-star unit, it's going to be one of these 8 units. Now in this video, we're going to briefly discuss each unit and look at their available skills to fodder. These banners generally have some pretty good skills on hand. Unfortunately for this Double Special Heroes banners, we don't have a 4-star focus unit, so there will be no 4-star focus rate. First up, we have New Year's Anna. She's a red infantry archer with good attack and speed stats, but she does have some lopsided defenses with low defense but really high res. The reason for Anna's high base res is to make use of her inheritable bow, the Fortune Bow Plus. This weapon has a sabotage defense and res type effect, so grouped up enemies with less res than the user gets hit by a -5 defense and res debuff. Pretty fun support weapon, could be neat on a dancing archer, but we only have one of those in the game, so that's a bit hard to come by. And it does come with some other good support skills. She has sabotage attack to stack with the Fortune Bow. She also has rally defense and res plus and attack and speed gap to buff her allies. You can get rally defense and res from Roderick, so you will be able to inherit the plus version with any of these other skills. As a unit, New Year's Anna can dish out pretty good damage with a more offensive kit, but just be wary of that really low defense stat. Our second red unit is Duo Idunn Fae. They are a red armored dragon unit with incredible base stats all around. Her speed is not very high, but with some buffs, she can avoid doubles from the really slow enemies. So naturally, Duo Idunn is a massive tank. Zephyr Breath is effective against army units and can inflict -6 attack, prevent follow-up attacks, and neutralize penalties. Idunn just needs to have a field buff on her or be near an ally, so it's very easy to activate. To make things more difficult, their dual skill grants +6 defense and res and a status effect that neutralizes dragon and Eve armor effectiveness. This makes Duo Idunn and Faye kind of valuable since a lot of dragons struggle with all the fashion type weapons out there, and she can make ally army units just hard to kill as well. In the raids, if you run the dual hero structure, you can get multiple uses out of this ability, so perhaps that's something that may interest you. Now for other skills, Idunn has one really rare skill in Sturdy Stance 3. She's the only one with this tier 3 dual stance, and a lot of units can make use of the big attack and defense boost with the guard effect. She also has Vengeful Fighter, which is always good, plus Gold Dragons, and that's another kind of rare skill. With the new Honed Dragon Sacred Seal, you can stack both buffs for up to +10 attack and speed. Overall, red is a pretty good group and is a decent unit, and Duo Idunn and Faye are crazy tanky, plus we got some really great skills all around. Next for blue, we have Spring Est. She's a flying blue mage with pretty high attack and decent speed. Her Eagle's Tome activates if she's within 2 spaces of an ally and grants +5 to all stats along with the ability to neutralize penalties. With Fury 4, S can become a bit tankier than expected, kind of like Brave Claude, but obviously she can't suddenly heal for half her max health, so she won't have that long-term sustain, and you're probably going to need Desperation to stay safe. For her beast skill, Est has Chill Attack and Res 2, which is okay, but will be a bit hard to tell who it's going to hit consistently. She also has Honed Flyers for that always potent +6 attack and speed buff for flyer allies. Spring S has some pretty decent stats for a flying mage, but she will need to stay near her teammates to proc Eagle's Egg. Her fodder skills are okay, but ultimately a tier 4 skill like Fury 4 isn't a huge upgrade over its tier 3 version. Next we have Valentine's Rudolf, who is a lance armor unit. He's another pretty scary unit because it's really high base attack and defense, and he needs that since Thorn Lance only works if Rudolf has more attack than his opponent. If he wins the attack comparison, then he inflicts -6 attack and defense, and the foe cannot make a follow-up attack. It also accelerates specials, and Rudolf has special fighters, so this guy will hit hard and probably have a special charge too. If you keep his natural bonfire, Rudolf can tank 1 hit, and then he instantly retaliates with a bonfire and his sky-high attack stat. For his other skill, he has Threaten Attack and Defense 3. Dual Threatens are really good on army units that only move 1 space, since if you try to bait them to attack you, the Threaten is going to always proc. For someone like Brave Edelgard who has superb mobility, it's not as effective, but it's still a deadly C skill if you know you're going to be surrounded by a lot of enemies. Overall, I would say the blue group is okay if you just want Est or Rudolf as units. There aren't as many universally useful skills to inherit since we have 1 flyer only skill, 1 armor only skill, and again, Fury 4 isn't a super must-have tier 4 skill. Moving on to the green group, we have Spring Fur. She's a flying axe unit that is insanely fast, and she has good attack too. First, Bun Bun Baton is a really good weapon because it excites specials, is effective against arm units, and has no follow-up. It's similar to Violet's Creator's Sword, but it's even better against arm units who usually run skills that no follow-up really messes up. To double Spring Fur, you have to win the speed battle, and that's just not going to be very easy. For fodder skills, Fur has Harsh Command Plus, which can be a nice upgrade to its predecessor. She also has Attack and Speed Solo 3, which is a prime A skill for offensive units with that big +6 attack and speed boost that can work on both phases. For C skill, Fur has Air Orders, which lets flyers move next to any ally within 2 spaces. Air Orders and Ground Orders are both extremely annoying skills to face on defense teams. Next we have Duo Valentines Alm Celica. They are an axe infantry unit, and they are, I think, technically the fastest axe unit in the game. They have 1 less speed than Spring Fur, but their Scepter of Love grants a flat +3 speed. This weapon is a bit confusing. To activate it, Alm needs a field buff on him, or he has to be above 70% HP. He then gets a boost to attack equal to 25% of the foe's defense stat, and he inflicts a debuff on the foe's attack stat equal to 25% of the foe's res stat. For example, if the foe has 40 defense, Alm is going to gain +10 attack. If they have 20 resistance, then Alm would inflict -5 attack on them. Bit of a strange effect, but it basically means Alm just deals more damage while taking less. For their dual skill, Alm Celica will heal for 30 HP, neutralize penalties, and grants +6 attack and speed to everyone within a 5x5 space centered on Alm. This skill is a nice refresher during a tough battle and will fulfill Scepter of Love's activation conditions. For his special, Alm has his unique Lunar Flash special, which is like a mini Moonbow plus mini Regno Astro effect. Alm is super fast, so that's a ton of damage. For passive skills, Duo Alm has 3 great skills. Bonus Doubler, Low Attack and Speed, and Rouse Speed and Res are all useful on many units. You can't really go wrong if you want some fodder here. As a unit, Duo Alm is probably the best premium option for annoying close call type skills. Along with Spring Fur, you have 2 super fast axe units, and they both have good skills to inherit, which makes the green group very solid to summon on. In the last group, our first colorless unit is Spring Bruno, who is the only old seasonal unit here. He's a cavalry healer with high defense, but 14 base res is just super low, and his low speeds makes him very vulnerable to any kind of magic damage. As a healer, Bruno is not going to be super deadly, but he could maybe tank some physical damage attacks. Now for skills, Bruno does bring 2 solid options. The Avoid Staff Plus is a neat inheritable staff that heals the user and adjacent allies for 7 HP every turn. I don't believe any other staff heals the user, and the adjacent healing can be nice, similar to the Heron Dancers. The Avoid Staff does synergize with his attack and defense push 3 skills, since those skills require 100% HP to activate. They aren't as great as their tier 4 versions, but with Dazzling Staff, Bruno can sneak in an attack and then heal back up on the next turn to keep the push skill active. Besides the Avoid Staff and Dazzling Staff, Bruno only has Martyr Plus and Miracle. Neither of those are really rare skills. Last we have Valentine's Fae. She's a colorless armored archer, and she is a super scary damage dealer. Not only does Faye have high defense and res stats, but she also has 40 base attack. Her Budding Bow Plus is a great inheritable bow since it basically has a mini sturdy impact effect, +4 attack and defense, and prevents an enemy follow-up, so Faye can have a safer initiation. For the most part, that's not a super big issue though, because when she comes with Deathblow 4 and Bowed Fighter, if Faye initiates, she gets a crap ton of extra attack, and she can attack twice, and she's gonna probably proc her special as well. This combo is great with the Budding Bow, but it's also very deadly with the Brave Bow. In fact, Valentine's Fae can work with many different kits. She can make use of probably all the major fighter skills, and can run a defensive build just fine thanks to her stats. She is a great candidate for a close counter build, and she's absolutely disgusting with the Spendthrift Bow since it adds extra damage and it inflicts that big attack debuff too. She's an incredibly good unit, although I'm not sure if people want to chance getting Bruno at the same time. Faye is definitely the more enticing pick from this colorless group. That's going to be it for this double special heroes banner. We have another banner with 2 duo heroes and some strong units like Faye available here. Obviously this month has been tough on the orbs with Choose Your Legends, and the Pirate banner from earlier was also very solid. We still have the legendary banner for this month, and if anything you can wait to see who's on that banner first before spending any orbs here. Unfortunately, this double special heroes banner will probably end before we see next month's new banner. If you're gonna summon, then good luck, and do let me know what you think about any of these units. I'll see you guys in the next video.